The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today. This episode of Hilltop Glove Podcast is brought to you by the Simon Marketing Agency, turning ordinary business into extraordinary one since 2020. Simon James and his team do the hard work of attracting new customers so you can focus on making your business exceptional. As a brand marketing expert, Simon specializes in creating a unique and unforgettable identity for your business. From generating awareness to captivating content creation and strategic advertising, Simon Marketing Agency has you covered. Elevate your business today. Give them a call at 843-942-8880 or email them at simon@simon.com. Visit them at www.simonmarketing.agency. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at BrandSimonTV.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, shopbobs.com for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at WeShopBobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 The Hilltop Glove Podcast.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast. On today's episode, we have the pleasure of talking with Nigel Malone, also known as Nxgxl. He is a multi-talented artist, producer, and audio engineer, as well as the founder of Colorful Noise, a music production company that was established in 2020. Nigel's musical journey began during his high school years at Mallard Creek, where he performed at well-known venues like the Fillmore and AMCS Bodega. To further expand his knowledge in music, Nigel attended SAE, a professional audio engineering school in Atlanta, where he had the opportunity to work with musical professionals like Mike Will Made It, K.R.I.T, and Schoolboy Q. Now back in Charlotte, Nigel is currently hosting an introduction to audio engineering mastering class for middle schoolers at Wilson STEM Academy. With his expertise in music production and audio engineering, Nigel is definitely making a mark in the growing music scene of the Queen City. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing, brother man? We appreciate you being here.
For sure, I'm good. Appreciate that intro, man.
Yes, sir, man. You are.
I stalked you.
Yeah,
I stalked you.
Creeper, man. She's a creeper. Okay. But that's
I like to make people, sound. Yeah.
You don't make.
I mean, but you put in the work.
Say it. That's always tough.
You put in
When
the
you're
work.
a producer, cyber stalking somebody, it's like part of the professionalism.
So yeah, if you have any missing children out there, etc., she's gonna find it.
Okay. Hey,
Any credit card scams, she's gonna find it. So make sure arrest warrants, she will find it. And then I'm gonna be asking you very uncomfortable questions.
okay.
Yeah, so-
But yeah, that's what we do.
You didn't find nothing, did you?
No.
But we always like the folks, especially when you come and want to make sure you're feeling at home. We are very laid back, as you can tell. And it's nice having my three group. We got the group today, and we are here at Asylum Digital Studios today here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Shout out to
And
Asylum.
Please shout out, man.
Always great hosts.
Yes, they are so gracious to us with what they allow us to do here and the time that we have to work here in the studio, especially at a particular time on a usually a morning for someone to come and allow us to do this. And we appreciate your time and you being here with us. For our audience that doesn't know, and this is why I was telling folks before we started, it's nice to talk to one of us, somebody that is in the industry of what we do and has same or similar backgrounds or experiences and is trying to go in a similar path, because it gives us a chance to bounce ideas off each other and see what doesn't work, what's working, for us to have a very honest conversation about it. But they need to know who you are.
For sure.
So if you could just tell them a little about what influenced you growing up, your background, where you from, how did you end up in Charlotte, and what kind of music did you listen to as a child?
Okay, for sure. I'm born and raised in Charlotte. I've been here majority of my life. 2012, I moved to Atlanta, went to audio engineering school out there, and I lived out there for about 8 years where I mastered my craft, and I moved back here in 2019. But growing up, I listened to anyone I would think in North Carolina, black, growing up as a young man, 3-6 Mafia, Lil Wayne.
True.
Boosie. When I was in middle school, Boosie was really big.
It's banging.
You know what I'm saying? But Pharrell, Kanye, those are, big influences as well.
Switch over in music between 2010, 2013. If you go back even further, 2005 to 2008, there's everything switched.
It did. And, that 2012, 2013, that was like the death of CDs.
Yeah.
So that was like a big reasoning for the switch. And I remember Kanye dropped Yeezus, and the cover was just the CD, because he said it's like a casket for CDs, like it's the death of CD. But after that, a lot of the sound changed, because I think of how we consume music
and produce it. Like it's everything's grassroots now.
The way that you're able to experiment with sound, all that stuff changed. The instruments we're using, non-instruments that we were using, changed. Audio plugins, controllers, MIDI stuff, like all that stuff.
When
changed.
you had to be a super nerd to do that in the early aughts when we were playing around, but now it's like, oh well, you auto-tune the news, like just pop that shit on.
All that stuff changed. And so, like, just saying that, because that was a quick timeline of moving forward. That music from 3-6, Boosie, and them, probably even like people like P.D. Pablo and stuff like that, influencing us as we were growing up as a child. I'm talking about before you were 16.
Yeah.
Was that the type of music you was listening to?
Yeah, I say this. I have a lot of different influences.
Okay.
I got a big family, and I'm born and raised in Charlotte. The majority of my family is from Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hickory is a little bit more country. You know, and my family is from the projects out there. So the first album I ever bought, I was in the projects in Hickory. I was probably like 6 years old, and somebody was selling bootlegs, and I bought Known Unknowns.
That's a good. All right, that was your first one.
That was the first album I bought
yourself
out of my pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
But the first album that I asked for somebody to buy for me was Stank On Ya.
What?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was really young too. I just turned 30, so.
Yo,
really
how are you asking somebody for Stankonia?
Yeah.
You had a good ear. Yeah. I mean, we was listening to Ray J. Don't be started on that story again, but yeah, that's different class.
Yeah.
Different class.
The only reason I remember why that was the first album I bought, because if you ever buy that album, the CD has a naked girl.
Oh, I know.
And there were like 3 different versions too.
Look at it. He's like, what's wrong with y'all, man?
No, that's every Outkast album.
All their albums. That's how
all of our Outkast CDs got broken in half by a friend of mine, by Darius' mom.
Oh, that's a good story. Yeah, she was strict.
Oh, yeah.
Strict.
And some of them was Adrian's, so sorry, Aunt.
Yeah. All right, but Yeah.
The CD, but the naked girl was made out of fire.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I didn't know what I was looking at.
Me neither.
But I remember my mom's, the guy she was dating at the time, he bought it. And he looked at it, he was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
He was like, they put this in the...
They put it in there. Don't look at the top.
It's artistic, but there is some... You can see some things from behind that are... Yeah. It put it on another level of artistic...
it did have a level artistic.
Right.
Yeah,
it definitely was. I mean, it was a
yeah.
legit artist, did it. Matter of fact, I think that thing is like in my bedroom hanging on the wall, for real.
The CD or the...
No, the CD was all scratched up, and I was like, I can't throw this out. It's like too much of a icon from my high school life.
Right.
It is.
But I played sports my whole life too. Football, basketball. And when I would go
Any
to
lacrosse? Okay,
Yeah.
just asking.
Nah. But when I would go to football practice, sometimes it'll take an hour to get to practice. And my mom, she'd be listening to Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill. But I think my mom helped hone my audio engineering ear because she would listen to the same song on repeat for an hour. And as a kid,
That's a good point. No, you're right, though.
Yeah.
It trains you.
Trains your ear. So as a kid, to stay entertained, I got to listen to different parts of the song. One time she played, I might be listening to the lyrics. Another time I'm listening to the beat, or I'm listening to the kick, the snare. It kind of hone my ear to...
Tracking it out in your
The
head.
layers. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like how you
So
explain
do you have
that,
any siblings or anything?
Yeah, I got an older brother
Okay.
and a lot of uncles.
Okay.
Really big.
Big family, really
Yeah.
big. And like you said, from the country, we know how that is. Like, the generation before you, they probably had how many brothers and sisters and everything?
Yeah, my mom got 12 brothers
See?
and sisters.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
You're on par with us. That's what we're looking at, 10.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of them. So like you said, being 30, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You're the youngest, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you're the last of the, It's him right there. You're crazy. Yeah. No, I understand. And so you that's interesting because I know we were just talking about like bridging gaps and et cetera. You had to pull back. You had that far back generation, but then you were left off as one of the pioneers for the new generation. You couldn't just stay back there with the old school. You had to come forward. So what was that journey like of you coming forward in sense of culture and et cetera before you even got to what you wanted to do in music? Just like how you're like, okay, I'm going to make this music. I'm not going to be in a funk band. I'm not going to be doing no jazz. I'm actually going to be doing hip hop, and this is the way I want to do it.
Man, what actually got me into hip hop, in 3rd grade, it was a short stint where I lived in Atlanta. For my 3rd and 4th grade, I lived in Atlanta, and I went to Redan Elementary School. And Redan is it's like the blackest school on earth. You know what I'm saying? My teacher got a grill, like, yeah, she got a grill, like.
She got a grill.
She got a grill. Miss Hall. And Miss Hall, she.
Shout her out, Miss Hall. Shout out, Miss Hall.
Everybody black, every single kid in there. You know, it's kind of in the hood, but I remember my teacher would have us do Freestyle Fridays where.
She got a grill, so obviously.
Yeah. All right, kids, you can be writing freestyles.
So I would like rap battle the other kids in class and just seeing the response they would have from my words.
Yeah.
It kind of was like, I was like, oh, snap, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So it got me more into writing and studying hip hop.
And what do you mean by studying? Because people talk about being like a student of any type of like art form or even sport or an industry. In your mind, what was studying?
Yeah. Well, coming up, I didn't look at it as studying because I enjoyed it. It was just fun. But I mean, just listening to music all day. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, that's when like LimeWire and BearShare first came out. I'm downloading every Lil Wayne freestyle.
That's your limitations. That's your limitations.
Right.
Man, piracy is the best thing that ever happened to music.
Wasn't it?
It really was.
I think it was.
Because like for generations, it was like all of a sudden you could read, oh, Chicago sound kind of cool. Let me listen to everything they ever did.
Right.
They
Now
never would even had that audience before.
Right.
Yep.
Nah, that's true.
I agree.
That's true.
Go ahead. You was out here pirating.
I'm pirating every Lil Wayne record ever and just listening to music, man. You know, I know y'all remember MP3 players.
Yes.
You know, you got 56 songs you could put on there.
Mike, it's feeling good.
Right.
Feeling good.
Yeah, but Now I look at it as studying, but back then I was just listening to music.
Yeah, but you were actually putting in hours to become a master. You just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Didn't realize
When you critique things once you get to a certain level, you're like,
Yep.
why did they put the snares there? That just don't sound right.
What did you learn at the school?
Mm-hmm.
Tell them about the school compared to what you already knew.
Well, being young and rapping, I just wanted to rap. You know, after I graduated high
You
school.
weren't producing.
Yeah, I wasn't producing.
Okay.
I wasn't engineering or anything. I was just rapping. And I remember I only applied for one college. It was A&T, and I did not get accepted. I had like a 0.8. Very low, very low. And then I was like, man, forget college, man. I'm about to go chase my music dream.
Yeah.
So a friend told me about SAE, but what I learned is how to record musicians, you know, the basic technical skills of Pro Tools and a mixer board. You know, my school had 12 studios in it with SSL consoles, Neve consoles. So we just learned the basics of signal flow and how to record people.
And tell them when you mean like musicians, what you're talking about. Explain that, like recording musicians.
Musicians like recording vocals, recording instruments, choirs.
Yep.
You know,
multi-mic setups.
Multi-mic setups. You're just really learning how to be an engineer, how to be an audio engineer.
You might put 4 mics on a drum kit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just want people to understand because they don't want to just think you're just talking about putting somebody in a booth and or in a that's not what you were learning. Yeah.
And even audio engineering is not only recording. I learned live engineering as well. You know, mic up a band live and make sure they sound good for the house.
That's a different game. You got to change on the fly.
You don't want to be at Colonial Life Arena and somebody comes in for a concert. I've heard it. It was bad.
Oh yeah.
And then someone came in to the board and they talked to the guy and the sound changed. So I realized that somebody wasn't doing their job well that night. Yeah.
Shoot, Beyonce will call him out from the stage.
No, seriously. No, because she hears it. She knows it's not good. You'd be like, oh, Lord, you better bring that bass down a little bit, trouble up. But yeah, to understand that stuff on the fly, you were getting that that education. I got to ask you this question. Yeah. Was it expensive?
It was $20,000 for a year program.
Ooh, so, how many years?
A year.
Just one year.
1 year?
Okay. 1 year.
Fast.
Yeah. Fast. Very fast, very condensed. And yeah, that's expensive to me. $20,000.
I had to get how'd you pay for it?
A federal loan, federal student aid. I'm still paying on that.
For real?
Yeah.
How are you
pay for college?
No, because this is what our podcast is about, right? I want the folks, especially millennials and younger folk, coming up to understand the realities of. So there's like, oh, I just go to SAE and it gets popping. No, I want them to know, like, it costs money. You have to invest and be ready to pay on back end. Yeah. And with that being said, how are you like taking care of your everydays, like living and paying for food and stuff?
Well, my older brother, he went to Clark, Atlanta. So me and him were roommates. And 2012, 2013, we had an apartment downtown Atlanta, 2-bedroom for like $1,100. You're not going to
get that. That's not happening again, y'all. Unless something happens with the dollar.
Airstream nowadays.
Yeah, you're right. Get you an Airstream and just live on the street.
Park in the alley. You couldn't go.
But so we split it, and I worked at Sam Ash too. Sam Ash Music.
Oh, that's dope. That's a perfect type of job.
Yeah, you stayed within
your realm.
Yeah.
So you got to learn and get on-job training while you're getting paid.
Yeah, and being in Atlanta, you meet a lot of people at the music store.
Right.
A ton of artists.
Oh, elaborate.
That's the thing a lot of people don't get is when you paying for education, you also paying to meet the people that you're going to shake.
The networking, the connects.
That's how you get a job.
Yeah.
I'll tell a story. Since you said elaborate, I'll tell a story. Are you all familiar with TM88? Okay, so.
Oh, yeah, like very much so.
Okay, so I was at Sam Ash, and I'm in Pro Audio, and TM88 come in, and he come in with this girl. And this girl, she got tattoos on her face, and it's them two. And I'm helping TM88, and I sell him, you know, I ask him, what do you come here for? He like, man, I'm looking to buy like a Focusrite interfaces, real low level thing. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you TM88, bro. You not, it's not what you hear.
It's not what you need.
He was like, what you mean? At the end of it, I ended up sending him like $3,000 worth of stuff, an Apollo, got him a whole studio set up. And he was like, dang, man, like, this is the best purchase I ever bought. And I'm like, bro, you're a platinum Grammy producer. Like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
He was like, XO Tour Life. He was like, I made that on my Beats pill. I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, well, now you got some real equipment.
Yeah.
Then he left, and the girl he was with stayed. And I'm like, okay. So I talked to the girl and helping her out, and she there to buy a $4,000 mic, a U87. And, I'm learning about her. I help her buy. She just starting. She like, man, I'm just starting out. Like, I don't even know what to buy. I'm walking around the store helping her out. And then at the end of it all, I'm like, you buying this mic? You like, you must be somebody. Who are you?
Obviously, yeah.
She like, no, I'm not nobody. Get her Instagram, follow her, Summer Walker.
Oh,
That's who she turned into.
Oh, okay.
But back then,
She was nobody.
she had one video on her Instagram, just her playing guitar, singing.
And she just needed a mic to catch her vocals.
And Sam Ash.
Good mic.
Good mic. A good mic. Good $4,000 mic.
Yeah.
Good mic. Not a
Sam Ash in Atlanta, you see stuff like that every day.
That sounds like a great job for your career.
Yeah. How did you?
I made $7 an hour though.
Well, I mean, retail gonna suck no matter what.
Yeah, that's
the experience.
But
you
the
got.
experience is probably like the people, like any of those folks that you meet out there. Did you end up doing any business with any of them?
I ended up, a lot of people.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah,
a lot of even people that aren't big would come in and hear my knowledge and be like, "Yo, man, you must know something." To the studio, so I got a lot of work that way.
Good. So it pays for itself. It did pay for itself. What was the worst meal that you had to eat when you were grinding at SA?
The worst meal?
Y'all, this was not part of the question, so just so y'all know. He's off script. Like,
I can tell you the meal I ate the most.
What's that?
A 4 for $4.
I know. I know.
Like this.
Yeah, that's real. So you at Wendy's getting that 4 for $4. What was your favorite part in your 4 for $4? How do you build your 4 for $4?
Man, spicy nuggets. They don't even sell.
They don't sell them. It was clutch. The best nuggets.
They can't
spicy
sell
nuggets.
spicy nuggets?
Yeah, they
don't
only
do
come
that
out
no
every
more?
once in a while.
Really?
Yeah, that
Man,
made me angry. That's my favorite thing from Wendy's. Spicy nuggets.
Had the spicy nuggets, the burger, the fries. You know what I'm saying? But
Did you get the Frosty? Or
Nah,
did you get drink? Okay.
Just drink.
All right. Okay, that's how I see you. That.
You got dip fries.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, I'll just get the Frosty. I'm going to drink some water when I get back to the crib.
Yeah. You got to have something to dip your fries.
Yeah, it tastes good. It tastes good. But see, he was like, I'm going to get me a drink. I don't need all that extra sugar.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't need all that extra sugar. Shoot, I don't blame you. But see, you had to do that. The reason why I'm asking this question, it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking the question is because what a lot of folks don't understand, especially people who are looking to come to the game, this is why I like talking to people who are in the business we're in. There are ways in which you have to sometimes pinch pennies until you get where you need to be at and realize the reason why I'm doing this is because I have a vision that is not temporary. It's for down the road. It's not short-sighted.
Yeah.
And so if you have a way to budget yourself so you know, and I remember I heard Jeezy talking about this and I thought it was funny. I was like, what's that way you going to? He was talking about the fact that he was trying to save up money so that he could invest it further in his career. And as he was doing certain work, some of the stuff which may not be legal, he was saying he made sure he kept himself at a $6 a day budget on meals. He would go to Subway, get his sandwich, his chips, chips and a drink, and he would eat that. And as he was walking back, eating that chips and drink, he was thinking, I'm saving money so I can do this or do that. He said, I may have wanted to eat something better than this or go to such and such. But he was like, you know what? For the time being, this is what I got to do until I get to where I'm at. Man. And he gained some weight. I had a little issue with sugar and stuff like that. But once he got where he was at, he was able to hire a personal trainer, drop them pounds, get in good shape, you know what I'm saying, and handle his business. But I tell people that because like when they aren't yet hitting it, they're like, man, I want that fancy watch. I want that nice car. I want such and such. I want to do this. I don't want to work here. It's beneath me. And I'm like, how's it beneath you? You aren't even there yet. You should be trying to pay your dues.
Do you know what part of that is?
What's that?
Is the goal is the fancy watch.
Oh.
And the goal is the expending this stuff so that you can have these
Good
things.
Insight.
So their intention is wrong?
Well, who's to say whose intention is right?
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get the items, what items wear out and they get tarnished and they break and they go bad and stuff. But if you ain't, if those are a side thing that just happens to pop up because you got so much damn money that you don't know what to do with.
Yep.
That's a different story.
That's a different story, yeah. But like when you're not dealing with that and you're just a student and you're learning, you going through that year was like you going through your fire. Like they always talk about a hero's journey.
Yeah.
You have to burn. You have to do your phoenix. You got to burn to ash and then come back out on the other side. That was you burning to ash.
Yeah.
And come back
for some years.
See, look, let's get into that.
Sacrifice.
Let's get into that because
discipline.
Yeah.
Be disciplined.
Say it.
Yeah,
exactly. So explain like that journey of you just like you're burning for years before you get to the point of working in the region that you wanted to work in. Just so our audience can understand the reality.
Well, after going through the program, I actually moved back to Charlotte after a year because I got an opportunity to work at Audio Box Studios.
Nice.
And when I worked there, I was an intern for one day. And then after that day, they made me the head engineer the next day.
What did you do that day, man?
Show the hell out.
This was a while ago. This was like 2014. So they just didn't have an engineer.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, did you put somebody out of a job?
Nah.
All right.
But had skills.
Yeah, but I was working there for like 6 months, probably made the most money I ever made. But I looked at myself and I said, I'm not that good. Like, I'm kind of like fooling these people. So I was like, all right, I know I'm making good money, but I got to go back to Atlanta and really learn. Like, I went to school, but I'm not good as what the Migos doing. Or, you know, so I'm like, man, I'm going to go back, go through this struggle and just really learn. So moved back to Atlanta, interned at a studio called Blue Room, where these is high-level artists, and that's where I met K.R.I.T there. I met a lot of people there, and I just learned, man. But
were you being paid as an intern?
Nope.
There we go. That's that fire. Was the rent higher at the time? Was the rent higher?
Yeah, nah, it was actually lower because I was living by myself, but I was paying $1,000 a month.
But all on you.
All on me.
Not 1,100 split.
Not 1,100 split. And I was working at Sam Ash again. And
they had that job waiting for you when you came back.
Yeah.
See?
Working
good
there.
worker.
Upselling them
Good worker, yeah.
and yeah, it was broke though, bro.
Dang.
Struggling, bro. And eventually I lost my apartment, sleeping on a friend couch, you know what I'm saying?
How'd you lose the apartment?
Bro, couldn't pay the rent. Money. You know what I'm saying?
How long did question? I just want to know.
Because if he interning, you got to think about how many hours he was really putting into at the job compared to interning.
But how long did it take you to? We're like, all right, you know, lost the apartment. Was it like a 3-month period, a 6-month period?
Nah, it was I did the whole year, but after the year, I couldn't re-sign my lease or nothing.
Oh man.
And being an audio engineer or any type of entrepreneur, this is something they don't tell people, but you got to have your business aligned. You got to show you either been in business for 2 years, or you got to show how is your income coming in.
That's what I was wondering.
So when you go to an apartment, if I'm like...
See, this is why I asked.
Sometimes you might want to keep a W-2 job just so you can get an apartment.
Yeah.
And you know, I worked at Sam Ash, but I would do little gigs here and there, like Atlanta, big film industry. So I would work some craft services for films and stuff like that. And but when I would go to an apartment, I might show them like, oh, I made $1,500 last week, but they like, you gonna make that next week? You know what I'm saying? You contracted.
We need 3 times the amount of pay for the
Yeah, we can't use that. So, you know, that's what I'm learning. I'm not only learning the engineer side or the music side, I'm learning how do I can I be a man in this world? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So I went through that for about 8 years. And interning, like I said, in Atlanta, I'm a great engineer. Like I'm a master engineer.
Yeah.
But it's thousands and thousands of master engineers in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
So they're disposable. So when you're interning, sometimes you're working for free. Then they move you up to $10 an hour. And they move you up to $20. It's a slow process because you're disposable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
God, that's so weird to think about, though, because that's a highly technically proficient thing that you can't just step in and do.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. I think what it is, what Atlanta is, it is a high technical thing.
But that's where everybody goes if you want to do it.
It's like being in Nashville for country music.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's not teachable.
Right.
When you get to a high level, there's things that you can't teach somebody ear.
Right.
You can't teach somebody how to hear, but you can teach somebody how to press the record button.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And they do that. The thing that happens in Atlanta, because it's such a big industry, you got a lot of people who are not serious at being an engineer. So they put engineers through a vetting process.
Oh.
And the vetting process is the internship.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we got to see, one, not if you can record, because you can teach anybody to record.
Yeah.
But we got to see, are you willing to get through being broke for 6 months?
For 6 months and keep coming back every day.
Do we got to ask you to come up here? Or are you just going to be proactive and go do a run and ask people if they want chips? Or are you just going to sit on your phone in the front? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
that's interesting.
It's a character assessment.
But in Charlotte, it's probably like 6 great engineers.
I like how you just said
You know
it.
what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
easy, six.
Yeah, like
you probably know them all.
And you know them, yeah.
And so, I moved back here and I could be even more successful because, it's a more need of it out here.
So it's not a problem. You didn't have that problem that some people have of being the big fish in a little pond.
Yeah.
It's not a problem when it comes to what because, that other place, that was like an ocean of sharks.
Right.
So why not come back and not be in shark-infested water, right?
A big reason why I came back because being in Atlanta for 8 years, I'm working with a lot of artists and I'm like, man, these artists are talented.
Yeah.
But Carolina, South Carolina, we got just as much talent.
Thank you.
But don't have an economy.
No.
We don't have like record labels. We got great engineers, but not a ton of them. Not a ton of producers, not a ton of videographers, not a ton of nothing for this industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, man, I want to go back to Charlotte. And people like me who love music, love art, I want them to have a career too. I don't want them to have to be like, man, I got to go to Atlanta.
It hurts you to hear that, don't it?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
everything in the world getting decentralized now, so that makes sense. You just setting up for that path that the whole world's already on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte's, or Carolina's,
Charlotte particularly, though, it's about to be bomb.
Right. So when you came back here, how did you get into teaching the kids?
Yeah.
That took a while. First, when I came back, I had to rebuild my clientele. So, I had all my gear and I would just pull up to people's houses and record them. And I still worked the job.
Oh, shit. So studio on the road.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's cool.
That's a premium
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of stuff, even in the biggest studios, is just the computer and the interface.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But so I would pull up on people, did that for about a year until I rebuilt my clientele to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't have to work a job. I can pay myself fully.
Mm.
And then after working engineering out here for a while, I started to notice like I was saying earlier, it's only 6 of us, man. We need more great engineers if this is going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, I want to help kids young because the things that I learned in school, I ain't have to go to college to learn that.
No.
I could have learned that in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Wasting your time.
so I said, man, I'm going to start a program and everything that I learned in school, I'm going to just teach them. You know what I'm saying?
Learn to teach.
I like you,
Learn
man.
to
I like
teach.
you. That's dope.
Because it's like knowledge is like just feed it to the people and see what they do with it.
Don't lock it up.
Well, in a day and age,
Behind a
man,
paywall.
You can eat up and consume this stuff. Because when I heard you was doing like audio mastering for middle school kids, I was like, do they even appreciate audio anymore? Because everybody just record everything on their phone and they don't notice the stuff. But that's how to do it, though.
How to create appreciation.
Listen to the space here. Put the headphones on.
Yeah.
Is the room voluminous or is it a small room?
Yeah.
So do they?
Yeah. When I did the program, I had to go recruit some kids. Well, I'll rewind it a little bit. I did 2 programs for free just to get the gist of it, see how it works, see if I could even do it. And once I did it successfully and see that I charged for it when I did it.
Okay.
The first time was free. The second time I charged. And I noticed the people who had the money to pay really didn't need it. They could. They
was already on the path.
They was already on the path, but they didn't need it. If you can afford this,
then why are you
go to school or something?
Go to school, do it. Yeah.
So I was like, man, I want to get this to people who need it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, man, I'm gonna do this for some underprivileged kids. So I had to go to Wilson STEM Academy, which is a school on Tuckasegee, and actually go into the cafeteria. The principal gave me an air horn.
Oh, air horn.
And I'm like, hey, everybody, this is who I am. This is what I do. And when I told them, ton of kids, I want to, because the program I did for them, I held it at Harvey B. Gantt Museum.
That's what I thought was really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I held it at the museum.
How did you get that?
Well, the museum reached out to me because they seen my program and some other stuff I was doing. And they opened up a new portion of the museum. It's called the MODA, the Mecca of Digital Arts.
Wow.
And they put 20 MacBook computers.
Shoot.
What?
You got different money up here, y'all.
Yeah.
They do have different money up here.
When they was putting it together, they were communicating with me. So they was asking me if we did a program, what would they need? I'm like, put FL on every computer, Logic, all that, da-da-da. Yeah. And then we ended up, we did the program and I brought the kids to the museum. So a lot of kids were receptive. Since it was at Harvey B. Gantt, they needed transportation, so some kids couldn't come.
Oh yeah.
But some kids were more into it than others. Like I had a student named Jada, and she was dope, man. Some kids had no experience, but Jada would go home and make beats. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, some kids were into it. Surprisingly, more women or little ladies. And I think it's because when guys are in middle school, they more football, basketball, they like, or they want to be the rapper.
Yeah,
you don't want to be the behind the scenes.
Yeah, they more like, I don't want to make beats. I want to rap and play basketball.
Yeah,
but majority of the graduates, because I did a 6-week program, girls.
Really?
Yeah,
It's good to know the numbers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's kind of what the Boys and Girls Club. The girls
it's
behind
good
the
for the future of the industry too.
Yeah.
It's reaching back out because it was very male skewed, right? So this is just going back to a more correct
harmony. Harmony.
So how is the program growing since you first started?
It's growing. I'm gonna do another program this March.
Okay.
At Harvey B. Gantt. And I want to do some for adults too, because when I did it, a bunch of adults was like, I want to learn this stuff.
They always do that.
You charge them.
Well, don't they?
You charge them to pay for the kids.
What's the kids doing? I want to do it with the kids
That's
doing.
for adults.
Right. So, and I want to really stretch it out. I want to do it in colleges. For like HBCUs. And because like I said, like.
And for it to be a curriculum.
A curriculum, and if North Carolina is going to grow, I want to create a pipeline. So we got all these studios. This is my first time here, but Asylum, you got Safe and Sound, you got Audio Box. I got a bunch of young engineers. I could give them a direct pipeline to the studios because I have a relationship with all of them.
Oh, I see.
And they know that if you send them somebody, they already
worth it.
Yeah, they good because the more engineers we got, the better the product of music that will be out here. The bigger the artist can get, the bigger everything grows, you know? So,
and it gives people a chance to get in the studio too, because people don't realize that's a lot of time. You don't want to have a burnt out engineer. So if you can have enough engineers in there to actually take care of the artist load, then you can get good product out. This is something interesting that I heard 2 weeks ago, and you tell me what you think about this. There was a clip of a female rapper talking about the fact that rap finally just started to decline, had a 40% decline. And one of the things this MC brought up is the fact that you have a lot of underwhelming production, bad music that has flooded the market because of the ability just to get stuff out. And what that does is people don't realize is those things count against the numbers. And it's not that rap per se is just bad or whatnot. It's just that now, instead of like back in the day, you'd have 150 artists out here running on the charts, etc. You'll have 300, 450,000 artists on the charts releasing stuff. Some of it's not good. It may be trash. They may have made it poorly. They may not have
still
good direction.
Consuming the same amount of music, but
there
it's
you go.
Up. And then if you've got reggaeton or something blowing up at the same time, now people's preferences are shifting over.
Yeah.
But really,
what
are they?
Yeah, that's my thing. And then is it? And this is what caught my eye when she said it. I was just caught my mind's eye. I said, production is down. Like the people who are there that can actually make sure you sound good. Meaning, like I can release a bad pop song, but it can be well produced.
Yes,
and it will get on the board.
That is what carried the 90s. Like that was it.
So that could be his leading factor right there. That could be your leading pitch to get like sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that is a good idea
because you're bringing up you're scaling and bringing up the quality of what is coming out. So people are going to be more apt to actually engage and bring it in and actually use that product because I'm like, yo, it's a way better product. I don't care if it just sounds good. The way the drums are hitting feel good, or the way the person's voice sounds just feels good. I know I listen to bad pop songs and they just were well produced. I was like, oh wow, they did a good job. Like for instance, I'm gonna tell you like the Barbie movie. Yeah. I'm just listening to something like that's a horrible song, but gosh darn it, they produced the heck out of this track.
Right.
And I'm just listening to some artists like, hey bro, what you listening to right now? Like it make me feel good because it sounds good. Yeah. I listen to some tracks. The track could have had all good intents purposes, right? Just been proper and on point. But the sound quality, the way that was mixed, the engineering behind it was trash. and it sounds bad on my headphones, and it sounds bad in the car, and it sounds bad on stuff. So I'm just like, I'm not listening to that song.
Right.
Do you ever run into an issue where you hear stuff and you can tell that the level of work and artistry that went to engineering was just poor?
I look at engineering like an art.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I look at the intent behind people's decisions with engineering.
Yeah.
So if something sounds distorted and muddy, if they intended to do it,
cool.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Such as like Nxgxl song, you know, it's very distorted. His first hit, I forget what it's called, but they intended to do that.
Yep.
Or Travis Scott, like
obviously.
He intends to do that.
The soundscapes are great. Right.
Yeah, sounds good. But there are some times where I might hear a mix and I'm like, you know, can't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
The same way any other person, you might work at Starbucks and be like, bro, I'm around coffee all day. I don't want to drink coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Can't stand the smell.
Yeah. So it's similar to that. Or somebody who shoot videos, like watch a movie and be like, bro, that transition was crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even enjoy the movie no more.
Yeah, way too much grain in here. Your ISO cranked up way too high. What's going on?
No, you're right. That's why I'm asking the question, because just for the people who listen to this, I want them to understand that there is an artistry that goes into it. It's not just about making a product. It's about making a good piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of good pieces of art, and I know just to wrap up to make sure we hit everything, man, what's this colorful noise that we talking about? Can you explain that to our audience and then tell us what you're working on and make sure that they know where we can find you at?
For sure. Colorful Noise is my company. It's the name of my company, music production company. And you can follow that page at colorful.noise. And we do offer mixing and mastering, production. I do photography, but I don't consider myself a photographer.
You have an outsourcer for that?
I want to show y'all something.
Go ahead. Show us something. You came with a baby ready.
Oh, yeah. This is sick right here.
It's a book I made.
Oh, wow.
Beat up. Been in my book bag, but it's all film photography. And I really just documented my journey since I've been back here in 2019.
Oh, look at you. Look at him. This is your mama.
You show the kids this?
Yeah. But this is, you know, all the art, North Carolina, South Carolina artists I work with. We in the studio.
See, this is good because this is like content, but this is like physical content.
Yes.
Most kids are digital.
Yeah, you saw the QR codes though. So on some of these pages.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. He was giving me the spiel down here while we were waiting to get set up, and I was very impressed.
All right.
So you can hit that QR code and listen to the tracks.
Oh, cool.
Right.
So you can know what was the vibe
that we was making in the picture.
Oh, wow.
So then you're tying people back in from a physical medium, and then that also sends them to the website. Because this is stuff I do with my clients.
This is so cool.
Print books with QR codes that go to the website, so you got on traffic.
He does this for a living.
Yeah, that's why when I saw this, I was like,
so excited.
What year were you doing this? Because I was trying to figure out if I was doing it first or you was doing it first, to be honest. But yeah, I'm very impressed. It's a great book.
Dog, on it, man.
And it's something you can keep, and it's like, you know, you
do
put yourself into
coffee table reader.
How do we get these?
They sell them at Archive CLT.
Oh.
Go ahead, say it. That's what I want you to get.
Yeah. But I sell them too. You can get them off my website, colorfulnoise.net.
Mm-hmm.
This is so cool that everybody we're interviewing is like all connected.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
I mean, there's so much going on out here in the creative space right now. Like,
we have to come up.
And everybody got little pieces of the puzzle. And as soon as we start sharing them, all of a sudden stuff starts happening.
Well, anyway, we can help you out. Let us know. That's what I was about to ask you. Like going forward, like what can we help you with, or what do you help with?
Well, I'll let y'all know what I got coming up soon.
Please do.
I'm working on a documentary. I'm gonna have a screening for it in March. You know, y'all invited. I'll send y'all the details. And really, you know, I would just ask y'all to come to that.
What's your documentary about?
The documentary is similar to my book.
So like working with artists and
a majority of the artists I work with, I ask them all the same question. And the question is, does the Carolinas have a sound?
Oh.
So, you know, you think of Atlanta, you think of New York, you think of LA.
They have sounds.
They all have sounds.
Yeah.
Does Carolina have a sound? And I asked, you know, everybody that I work with. Gene, Lou, Ruben, Vincent, Mavi, all these people in this documentary you'll get to see, you know. I don't want to give too much away.
Right. Yeah.
So each of these, they have different covers?
Nah, those are just the 2 covers that come with it.
Oh.
You can either get that cover or that cover. I wish I would have brought some more, man. I'm tripping.
Yeah, you tripping.
I'm tripping.
So where can everybody like find you and stay connected?
You can follow me on Instagram, Nxgxl. Colorful.
Tell them why your name's spelled like that, because I was bothering him earlier.
My name Nigel,
yep.
And I use it on social media, so I just put an X for the I and the E.
See, because I thought it was some cool nigga shit. I thought he was doing something part of my language, where he was trying to like how the young folks, use a zero instead of an O or something like that.
It's what we used to call that in the internet back in the day.
Yeah, but it's just they have his name. There's somebody with your name already.
I actually found a guy. And I DM him like, hey, bro, let me get the Nigel name, bro.
What do you think?
You gotta try.
Random guy in London. And he like, no, bro. He got like 100 followers. He like, no, you can't have my name.
Of course he's in London. Nigel. Man, forget you.
I'm like, bro, you ain't even doing that, bro.
Did you offer him money? Good man. All right. Yeah, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
Right.
People be camping on them URLs and stuff. You be buying them up, sit on them, wait for somebody to offer you $500.
How would the kids, if they wanted to join your program, man. How would they?
If you go to my website, you can subscribe to my email list. And soon as the program opens up, I'm going to be sending out emails.
Wait, say the website again?
Colorfulnoise.net.
Okay.
And then is that also how they would get in contact for you to book you for services outside?
Yeah.
I see you have a services tab.
Yeah. I still got to work on the services on my website. If somebody wants to book a session or produce, I'll say shoot me an email at colorfulnoisellc@gmail or DM. Any way to contact me, you can contact me.
Got you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Because people ask.
Yeah.
And so you got the hoodie up here popping off, looking good. Nice little hoodie, man.
Appreciate it,
man. I'm telling you, man, you're very, very, interesting gentleman, but also very impressive. Just what you're able to do, how you did it. I like that you understood that your journey from Atlanta back to here is almost like a sojourning path to get from there to bring back the manna.
Yeah.
And you didn't leave.
Right.
And not come back. Because it makes us sad. Because lots of people do that. So
brain drain.
Man, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. This is an excellent interview. As always, with the Hilltop Club podcast, I want to tell everybody that we appreciate you listening to our podcast. Please share. Go and see the artists' information, the stuff that they put out, their websites, the products that they have, services, etc. Make sure that we are promoting and supporting our own in whatever we do, because this is going to make sure that moving forward that these folks can exist and continue to exist in the realms that they're in. Other than that, it's DJ and what?
Tamaya.
Mike.
And in the background.
Yep.
There we go. See, that's some darn Russell Simmons shit right there he be doing. He only get to see who he is, man. But that's skipping the back. That's my brother right there. He can see him this time. But it's excellent. From the Hilltop Club podcast, tell somebody next to you that you love them, that you appreciate them. Spread that love and positivity.
Too, man.
Other than that, till next time, peace.
The Hilltop Club podcast.